beautiful day. So I'm just going to share a couple things that I've done and noticed that it's helped me with lots of my interactions among people, say insects, bugs, just generally everything. Because it's but I started watching Muji on YouTube, and I learned that we have to pull back our gaze and just observe all the layers of observing. And I just kept, as I'm going about everything, just pulling back my gaze and observing my interactions when they occur, and just looking at them and thinking about it, it's like contemplating just, well, all these thoughts are just, I'm able to watch them go by, and the longer I kept doing that, going through phases and cycles of pulling back my gaze, and I kept doing it, and I think it came about from when I was doing Wim Hof breathing, and it put me into that state to see the teachings of Muji as well, and I understood that it was after some time, that it wasn't just one teacher, but it's all teachers, and also some other people on YouTube. Been watching Ben Smith, and I like a lot of his ideas. He's real close. Just needs to. We all need to like pull our gazes back. It's like just observe, because say we're always pushing to reach towards something, but like something's already always here. It's like there's no need to reach for anything, So I kept pulling my gaze back, and I kept going through these thoughts that I couldn't quite understand. It's like just a bunch of, thoughts that hinder you. I can't do this, or you're not good enough, all those thoughts. But I kept pulling my gaze back during those times and breathing, pulling it back to my breath and paying attention, to those moments that arose during that, and just kept breathing, even though I didn't quite understand totally. Like, I knew what's going on, but just kept pulling my gaze back. And then after some time, I realized that it's all inside. And when you pull your gaze back, you're actually able to observe that all these processes are occurring from inside. And projecting, in a sense. And I noticed like things like when I was driving, one of the biggest things that noticed like change was when someone cut me off while I was driving. And it wasn't even, it was like, okay, they're just doing their thing, you know? And it's like that's just how they're expressing themselves in that moment. And that was like, oh my goodness. I was like, that's such a relieving moment. I was like, I couldn't believe that. How are you doing? And it's just like, wow, okay, that's spectacular. You good girl. Because I was like, oh wow, because my reactions were changing, like just because I was pulling back, and I was able to actually observe that moment of like someone cut me off. And had another interaction with a friend. He was saying how lots of people were driving crazy and cutting him off and doing things like that. And I was like, are you sure, man? I was like, I didn't notice that that happening to me, really, because I'm driving about, and for the most part, I get where I am without people cutting me off or doing anything. I'm just driving, doing my own thing. Like, you know, I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a hurry. I'm just, cruising along, enjoying, being. And, the next day, like, when I was driving, I realized that there was a lot more people just kind of, doing stuff like that. But it was because, like, I had pulled my gaze back and I wasn't really stressing about it, I guess. I was in my own little world, like, but not quite paying attention, because I noticed that. But it also brought attention to the fact that I wasn't totally aware in those situations. It's like, because I was like, oh no, I don't think so. But then it came to realize that, oh yeah, well actually people were. And it was just, it didn't affect me. I'm doing what I'm doing, and yeah, they're going too fast, so what? They're going too slow. That's okay. I'll pull over, And man, I did that, and man, I just kept pulling my gaze back, and I still do, because there's always more into the everything, the divine. And yeah, it at first, and it's still, I can see how, like, Blue, how that that didn't quite with my other, relationships and stuff. That was it's still been whatever kind of different, because having to view, living my life, trusting the universe, the divine, however you choose to call it, and it actually showing me a beautiful way, through the breath, the cold, and I've recently started climbing trees, and that's been fun. And yeah, just kept pulling back my gaze, paying attention to those thoughts and those feelings, and how they arose and when they arose. And even now, when they arise, it's like, I'll just pull my gaze back and watch why this is happening, and be able to break it down to its core, to understand if it's one of those pulling up preconditioned kind of thoughts or behaviors that, or, you trust your gut and your instinct, and it takes time, as long as it takes you. Some people, it could happen in an instant. Like, there's no speed. Like, how you view time could make it happen quicker, slower. It's all in your experiences and how you want to move in this universe. Yeah. You tell him. Would you give me that? Oh yeah, you get me that. Oh, you want this too, Blue? Yeah. Bring it here. Thank you. Yeah. And it's different for everybody. But that's what I noticed for me. And you tell them. keep pulling that gaze back, observing the interactions and connections and how everything's working for you and with you. Everything. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's camera. All right, y'all stay blessed and enjoy life.